Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media Buffet. Today, I am alone and I'll be discussing Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. So, it's been a while, and if you're wondering if I'm gonna give you not detailed, but a long-winded explanation as to where I've been for the past 3 weeks, almost 4, I'm pretty sure at this point. Yeah, last episode was like March 17th. So, a little under a month of nothing. So, where have I been? I don't, it's not very interesting. I'm gonna be real with you. It's not very interesting. I just didn't do episodes. I was too busy wrapped up in other shit. I just didn't do episodes. So guess what? I'm doing them now. We're doing more episodes. Hell yeah. And hopefully I won't be caught up in other stuff. I'm back. And 3 new episodes, like always, and all that bullshit, whatever the fuck. Yeah. You already know. You already know. You already know what the deal is here. Three new episodes. You know. Anyways. Star Wars Tales of the Underworld is the newest installment in the Star Wars Tales little like I guess sub franchise type thing, like or animated like group of series that Star Wars started doing in 2022. Pretty sure there's been 3 of them. We've covered all of them now. Starting off with Star Wars Tales of the Jedi in October of 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Should be right here, and it's called Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. Shit. Tales of the Jedi. That's how you spell Tales. See, there we go. It okay. There's Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, and then Tales of the Underworld. There's a collection of anthology animated, Star Wars Tales of the Empire, which just gonna real quick fix some things. Yeah. I should say this. There we go. Okay. So yeah, Tales of the Underworld, and then after Tales of the Jedi, it was Tales of the Empire, which came out for May the 4th in 2024, and then now Tales of the Underworld, which it came out for last year's May the 4th. Yes, we're still covering stuff for May. God damn it. But anyways, Tales of the Underworld. What the fuck? Tales of the Underworld is the next series after this. It's the most recent series that has come out from the Tales thing, and the Tales collection. It's a Wikipedia. It's a collection of anthology series. The latest one, and I'm here to talk about it. That's really all I gotta say. I'm here to talk about it. So, what can I really say about this? I mean, obviously it's different stories and all that stuff, but let's not get into that. let me save that for a bit. But something I do want to mention that's not really related to anything is that we are not getting one this year. We are not getting a new Tales of. At least to my knowledge, we're not getting one. I'm pretty sure that our slate for like 2026 stuff for Star Wars currently is Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord, which started started this Monday, like last Monday. It started last Monday. on April 6th. This episode was supposed to come out in August, so it's not meant to be like this. But that is a whole sort of thing. Then we're getting Mandalorian Grogu, which is going to be the first Star Wars movie to come out in theaters in 7 years. 7 years since almost 7 years since the last one, which was Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, there's that. And I'm pretty sure the next thing we're getting is Ahsoka season 2, which is certainly something. That's certainly, I think. What does it say in 2026 for Star Wars? 2026 Star Wars. Let's see. An untitled Star Wars film is also scheduled for December 8th. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. The side tangent, but you know what it is. I want to look at what Star Wars has planned for this year. We didn't get a lot for last year. Oh, right! Oh, right! I forgot! Duh! The Hunt for Uncancelled is dead. Urge of the New Republic. Rogue Squadron. Kevin Feige Star Wars? The fuck? Okay. James Mangold. Taika Waititi. Okay. Simon. Whatever, man. But yeah, we are getting Star Wars Vision presents the Ninth Jedi, which is supposed to be like this series that continues on from the story of the Ninth Jedi short, which is cool. That is like the last one we got for Star Wars, and I'm pretty sure Ahsoka season 2 is supposed to come out this year. Yeah. I think we know if there was a Star Wars movie coming out this year, like another one aside from Mandalorian. I think we know. So it looks like we have Maul Shadow Lord, Mandalorian and Grogu, Ahsoka season 2, and Star Wars Visions presents the Ninth Jedi. That's it for 2025. 2026, 2025 had a bit. Honestly, it had like the last 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew, Andor, Tales of the Underworld, and then I'm pretty sure it was Star Wars Visions Volume 3. Sorry, I think that was like the last thing from Star Wars last year. So yeah, there's been quite a bit of stuff for Star Wars coming out. And then we're back and then next year is Star Wars Starfighter, which I'm interested in seeing how that turns out. But yeah, I guess we don't know until it comes out next year. Hopefully I'm still not backed up by a lot of fucking movie release and a lot of just shit releasing. But you know. Anyways, Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. Tales of the Underworld. I don't know what to. I'm gonna get into it. This episode might not be too long because, to be completely honest, I found that Tales in general just doesn't have a lot to say. So I don't think it'll be too long. Hopefully I don't bite the bullet on. Hopefully I don't bite I don't jinx myself with that one, because if we go to the last one I said wasn't gonna be too long, which was it was Dragon Ball Season 3. That turned out to be 54 minutes long. That one turned out to be fucking long. I'm pretty sure I said Chainsaw Man wouldn't be that long. It turned out to be an hour. So yes, I'm bad. I am bad at this. I knew Thunderbolts would be like 2 hours. Maybe real. I kind of knew Thunderbolts was gonna be like 2 hours long. or like at least an hour 30. I did not think it'd be that long, but you know, I suspected that this could happen. But I didn't expect this to have so much fucking. I guess it makes sense. I guess it makes sense. Someone's also, I want to say, someone's been fucking disliking like every video from 450 to 453 for some fucking reason. Also, those episodes blew up for no fucking reason. I gotta get on doing another James and the Cold Guns if people really want to watch that shit. Also, just saw that the FNAF 2 trailer episode is at 4K views. What the fuck is happening? Again, like I told Rat Comedy and I've been saying to everybody, if the episode on FNAF of the FNAF 2 movie does not exceed those numbers, I'm blowing my head clean off. I'm saying that right now. I'm gonna live stream fucking putting a shotgun in my mouth and blowing my shit clean off. But anyways, yeah, okay. I don't know. Also, who the fuck is disliking the Incredible Hulk? I don't. Who? Genuinely speaking, who the fuck disliked our episode on The Flash? Like, hello? I don't think this. Yeah. Only like I think it's legit. Only like how much is this? I'm not sure. But yeah, it's insane. 17 likes. I don't even know fucking what is that. Okay. Huh. Anyways, Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. Let's get into it. Right now, the Tales series of Star Wars is in not the best. Doesn't have their best record with me. I'm gonna be real. What the fuck do I need to log in? God damn it, son of a bitch. I fucking hate you, serialized. Die. I already forgot. Alright. God damn it. There we go. Anyways. Let me check. I already know. Tales of the Jedi, I thought was, I don't know what I give it right now, of like a out of 10 rating, but I gave it a 3-star rating. Like a B, I give it a B tier, right? Let's use the podcast fucking terminology. I gave it a B tier. And for Tales of the Empire, I felt like it was a lot worse. I felt like it was a lot worse than what Tales of the Jedi turned out to be. Can I check like average rating? That makes sense. 2.7 out of 1. Okay. That makes sense. If I see Tales of the I was gonna say if I see Tales of the Empire anywhere near that, but yeah, no. 2.8. Jesus for the Acolyte. Tales of the Jedi, the Empire. I gave a 2-star. I give it D tier. D tier. Can I not fucking select D tier rating? So where does Star Wars Tales of the Underworld sit among them? We'll get into that right now after fucking wasting 14 minutes of your time on fucking pointless bullshit. Let's start what we always start off with, which is the visuals and action. And I gotta say, the visuals are fantastic. The art style for the Clone Wars, which has been used for a lot of these shows, a lot of these animated shows, has aged beautifully, has been perfected to a degree where now it's like, you know, it's a fantastic style of animation. It doesn't look the same as we saw it in, for example, Star Wars: The Clone Wars the movie, or the Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the Clone Wars movie. Yeah, that. Not like we saw it in there, where it's very like, it has a lot of lighting issues and a lot of stuff. No. In here, they have truly perfected it, and it looks really, really good. the action in this show, for being like usually Star Wars, and so especially the animation side, has really good action. And I don't feel like that's an exception here. It's just like there's less of it in this show. There's not a lot of action in this show in general. Which, I mean, I don't mind. I think a lot of the action is in the Asajj Ventress arc, and the Cad Bane arc is less action oriented than what we saw than what when we see in the first arc. But I'll get into the Cad Bane arc later. But yeah, like I think the action is pretty good. It's just that we don't see a lot of it, which is kind of weird for a lot of these, like for the animated side of Star Wars, especially the Clone Wars side, which kind of prides itself with its really unique animation, its way of animating fight scenes, and like a lot of the fight scenes in like I guess like in-house Star Wars animation look really good, are really like fast paced and all that stuff. And I feel like not that it's not here, but it is reduced here, but it's still it's still present. It's not gone. It's just like it's again just reduced. There's not a lot of action in this show in general. So yeah, but aside from that, like it all looks good, and like the whole thing looks good. So there's not much more to say there. So let's get into just everything else, I guess. Okay, starting off with the characters, and I'm gonna sort of segment this by arc. I'm gonna get into the main characters of both arcs, kind of like not together, but like one after another. So starting off with Asajj Ventress, I like what we got here. I'm not sure if it's explained in Clone Wars. I did read up on some of it, and it looks like this arc specifically is a continuation of a novel that they made about Asajj Ventress and how she died at the end of the Clone Wars. To my knowledge, it's something that's not explained in the Clone Wars, and it is instead explained in the novel, and this is meant to be a continuation of the novel and how Asajj Ventress lived because she was supposed to be dead, but then she survived, or like she was revived. Uh, uh, so yeah, this arc is meant to be a continuation of that, and also explain why she shows up in Bad Batch, still being alive and not being dead. And not that it explains it, but it does. Like the first episode does kind of explain how she even got there. I'm not sure when the this actual the actual episode takes place. Like if it's before Bad Batch or after. I am not sure, but you know. Yeah. It's but Asajj Ventress in general, I liked what they did with her. What I was gonna get into. I liked how they furthered that, and what it meant for the character, and how she developed, but how she behaved and all that stuff. I like that they didn't make her a complete villain. Not that they redeemed her in any way. I'm not sure. I think my main problem is that I feel like Asajj Ventress as a character could work a lot better, a lot better, if you do read Dark Disciple, which is the novel I was talking about. If you read Dark Disciple, this might work for you, and all that. And I feel like this could be a really good way to close off Asajj Ventress' character, or at least continue it with her helping out other Force sensitives after being redeemed in Dark Disciple. I feel like that could work, but the fact is, you kind of have to read Dark Disciple for like this to work, and it's not like how they we had the Ahsoka book, which is canon, but a lot of the stuff was like redone for. I like the plot beats that happened in the Ahsoka novel, like happen. I've been animated. So it's not like that. It's not like we got an adaptation of that. I'm not sure if they would give us an adaptation of that, but you know, you never know. But yeah, I feel like if you do read Dark Disciple, this might be a lot. It might be a better conclusion, or like at least a better continuation of her character. But right now, I feel like that's what it's kind of missing, like that, because to my knowledge, it just kind of jumped like Asajj Ventress. If you just watch the shows, jumps from being a villain in Clone Wars to being someone who's allied in the Bad Batch, like a good guy, part of like the heroes technically, in a way, and then like you learn in Tales of the Underworld that she died. It's like, what the fuck? And then you got revived. Like, what the fuck? When did this come from? Like, the novel does fill that gap, but as like for the show, like it is a pretty big gap. Like, I feel like you need to know that information of the character, and it works. But again, it only works if you kind of read that. But aside from that, Asajj Ventress is cool, and I like what they did with her. How she can't be reunited with Quinlan Voss. What I do feel like is that they didn't touch upon that a lot. When it came to like the final big like moment at the end, where Asajj like can't go on the ship because she can't like meet she can't see Quinlan Voss. I feel like we could have played up with more of that since it's kind of set up. Not that it's dropped, but it's like not mentioned again in any like meaningful way afterwards. So yeah. Then next up is Asajj Ventress like secondary that's the Asajj Ventress arcs like secondary character. Both of these arcs have a secondary character within them, which is kind of like what happened with not what kind of happened, but it's sometimes been done with the other series. Next up is Lyko, a Jedi Padawan. I think this is supposed to be. Um, I think he's okay. He's nothing to write home about. He's just like your typical Jedi Sword 66 Padawan survivor. Is nothing special. I don't feel there's anything interesting about him. He's just there because we needed somebody to share the spotlight with Asajj Ventress and like further the plot, and also have like a good like good banter with because Lyko's a Jedi and all that stuff. Like I Lyko is just kind of there because he kind of needs to be there. But aside from that, Lyko is fine. I'll get into some things I didn't like about the arc because I do think that the Asajj Ventress arc is the weakest of them. But yeah, Lyko's just fine. So let's move on to I think the one of the better parts uh, of it, Cad Bane of this show. Cad Bane, something that I feel like can happen when you write backstories for like really cool villains is that like sometimes it like the backstory and learning things about them takes away from their coolness because you try to make them likable. It's a very big like thing that happens with all this stuff. Like, you try to make the villains likable, and you make him, and they're supposed to become like very like morally reprehensible and all that stuff. Like, you know, you know, it happens a lot with series where it's like, oh, okay, man. I mean, he's not as cool as you were before because now I kind of know. I kind of know where you came from. Like they had to make him like they had to make these villains agreeable, and it just doesn't work. What I like about this is that in these 3 episodes, they didn't really ruin Cad Bane in that way. They kind of, I think they very expertly set up his character as somebody who is morally reprehensible and somebody who, uh, who you're not meant to like, even though he is like a fan favorite. It is because of that, like him not being agreeable and not being like sympathetic. It's all that. I don't think that they ruined Cad Bane in any way. I think that it didn't strengthen. It didn't really like to me. It didn't really add much to Cad Bane, other than like making his origin a little bit more personal instead of just being like he was just there. I'll get into something later, I guess. But yeah, they didn't ruin Cad Bane, and honestly, Cad Bane's really cool, anyways, and it didn't ruin it. Didn't really add much, to be completely honest, but again, didn't do anything bad. So yeah, I think Cad Bane's still cool and definitely one of the better parts of the show. And then next up is the protagonist, which is Nero. Nero is much more the main character than Cad Bane, especially in like the last episode where Cad Bane's much more of a presence rather than like being the main character there. Yeah, Nero's a lot more like the main character, and I like what Nero does like for the story and like how, and also again like what he means. Like Nero was a dear friend of Cad Bane, or like was a dear friend of Cad Bane. Cad Bane left him to pursue this life, and then eventually came back and they grew separately with like different morals and all stuff, even though they had the same background. And basically, like Nero stole Cad Bane's life at the end of the second episode of the arc, and it all went downhill because of that. Like after that, not because I mean yeah because but also after that, you know. I think Nero is good enough. I think Nero's good. I think my main problem with all these characters is that we didn't get more time with them. I have a section for other characters, and it's just like, I mean, there are some that come to mind, like the guy who the same species as Cad Bane, who Cad Bane like pretty much takes all like the like all like the fashion from and all that stuff. I'm not sure that's what was really needed, but sure. And some other characters I can't give a fuck about. But they're there. I like this. Okay, I like the separatist guy in episode in like I think the second or third episode of the Asajj Ventress arc. I like him. I like how we see like these what the fuck was that? I like how we see these people and these like from these like different factions, how they have to like survive after the Clone Wars and like during the era of the Empire and all that stuff. I think that's cool. But what I was gonna say is that if we spent more time with them than just 3 episodes per arc, I feel like it could have worked. And another problem I have with the show is that it isn't full length. These shows are, instead of them being like, I guess what you consider normal, which is 25 minutes per episode, they are around like 15 to uh, it's 15 to like 20. It doesn't go over 20, but it's like in that range. I feel like if we just had, if it was just better, like if it was not better, but if we had more, it could have been better. But yeah, I think it's fine. It's just like I think it's skipped around a lot, you know. Anyways, speaking of that, let's get into the plot. Plots of the arcs. The Gasage Ventures arc is just fine. It's just fine. I feel like it kind of set out what it needed to do. Like, it's definitely the weakest of the bunch, but it's not bad. It's just okay. Like it was like if it was just these 3 episodes and whatever, I think it'd be fine. I don't think it would be terrible. I think it'd be terrible. But yeah, like Asajj Ventress like is the weaker part, and I have my problems with them. The characters are fine. I don't have a problem with that. My problem, and I think I think some of the themes that they have with like the interaction of characters, I think are like good, and showing like the difference between what Asajj has been taught to like what Lyko has been taught, and like the effects of the war, like the Clone Wars on everybody. But then there's some weaknesses. There are some weaknesses. The big one is the ending. I wish that the series like that the arc actually ended with Lyko going away instead of staying with Asajj Ventress. I feel like Lyko just being like, yeah, I'm gonna get a better life. I don't want to. Because nothing about Asajj's life has been like entertaining for him. He's been almost killed, hunted. Like I don't see why he would ever want to be with Asajj Ventress after all of that. You know. I feel like if it did end with Asajj Ventress, with like a message of Asajj Ventress like leading people to to a better place, like a place like just leading people to a better place, a place that she can't reach. I feel like there could have been that can have a much deeper impact on the audience. But instead, it's like it does the easy thing, and Lyko doesn't go on the ship, and he stays with Asajj because they can be a duo now. It's just like I don't fucking care. I don't. It's not interesting. I think it could have been a lot better if Asajj guided, like it would end with her, again with her guiding Lyko there, and like seeing like this, having this moment where she helps people get to somewhere she can. That could have been good, but no, that's not what we got. That's not the ending we got. It's just like it's very like yeah, there I guess. I don't know. I didn't like the Asajj Ventress arc as much as the Cad Bane arc. And I think the Cad Bane arc has some issues too. I think the Cad Bane arc is written better than the Asajj Ventress arc. The Cad Bane arc, the first episode, I think is really good. It sets up Cad Bane's character well, and like how even as a child he has like sort of like that scoundrel type of mentality and all that stuff, and how he does his own, how like he does things for his own gain and all that stuff. And again, I like how like he becomes resentful of Nero because Nero is getting all the spotlight, now the spotlight, but like he's like the big character here. And like how Nero basically like takes what was Cad Bane's, or what Cad Bane thought was his. I mean, would have done a worse job of it at it than Nero. He would have done a worse job at like what Nero had to do. Like I like that, but the Cad Bane arc, I feel like suffers from pacing issues because each episode is kind of like one, it's like a few years between each other, and it's just kind of like okay, man, okay. Um, I feel like the Cad Bane arc has like a bunch of things where just like like here's the character I mentioned where he was like the guy who looks like Cad Bane like grown up, but he has like the hat and all that stuff. Then he gets killed off screen. It's just like, oh well, okay, like bye bye, I guess. I thought you'd be more. I thought you'd be more important, but I guess you're dead now. It's like okay, man. But yeah, um, there's not much more to say. It's just like there's just a lot of issues with that. Which is like they have this this really short runtime. They put themselves on for no reason really, on these shorts on these arcs, and it doesn't work. I feel like these need to be longer. Something that I put in my review, my initial thoughts review of the show, is that I think that these could be better as sort of like short films, like not like feature length movie things, but like short films for Disney Plus that tell a complete story. What I said was that instead of it being like a show, make it so instead of being 3 episodes an arc, make it like a shorter movie. Like, not sure how long it'd be. Not sure how long the episodes are. Give me a second. Where is the miniseries? Let's say the runtime 17. I guess it okay. 17, 16, 18. That'd be 17, 16, that'd be 33, 18, 51. So this like 51, that's less than an hour. Right? Add another 30 minutes, like another 30 minutes, like this is for the first for the Assault Adventures arc. Add 15 minutes between each episode, and I think there you get like an 80-minute movie about this, and I feel like it would flow better. Obviously, I think the Assault Adventures arc needs it less, but I feel like a lot of like more time to flesh out the characters could have done it better. But I think the Cad Bane arc does need it more. I think the Cad Bane arc could have. I think if they released Tales, especially like a lot of the other stuff, I don't know why I didn't think of this, but if they released Tales as like animated movies about characters to Disney Plus, like instead of it being Star Wars Tales of the Underworld, it would be like, for example, like Tales of the Jedi. Using that for better. Like it'd be Star Wars Tales, Count Dooku, and Star Wars Tales Ahsoka. Like it's like movies about these characters, like animated movies, sure. Of like the lives of these characters and all that stuff. Then like for just the Empire, it'd be like Tales of the it'd be like Tales, Star Wars Tales. I forgot her name. Morgan Elspeth, and then Star Wars Tales, Barris Offee, which people probably wouldn't watch, but you know. And then here it'd be like Star Wars Tales, Asajj Ventress, and Star Wars Tales Cad Bane. I feel like maybe then it would have worked better if these were just longer, had like an extra 2 episodes between them, made them into a movie, so it's not just like, oh, 1 episode, then we jump into this and we jump into that. No, it's like we have time to develop all this stuff. I feel like I think then it could have worked better. But you know, I guess it is what it is. Hopefully, I know they're not gonna do that, but hopefully for future series, we get a lot more time to spent with these arcs to flesh them out a little bit more, and that leads me into talking, and that leads me talking about the future. I'm surprised we didn't get Tales of the Sith immediately. Tales of the Underworld is something that I think people, were expecting, but I don't think we were expecting it so soon. I don't know when they're gonna what they're gonna do after this. Tales of the Sith feels like something that is very obvious. That I don't know why they wouldn't do. But I wonder like who they'd pick. There's a lot of characters there that they could pick. Obviously, I don't think they'd pick like Darth Vader or Darth Maul. I feel like exploring like the Sith in general instead of just like exploring like, for example, them like I don't want them to do like just be like obvious. Oh, do like Star Wars Tales like an arc about Darth Sidious. If you're not gonna do like Darth Sidious and Darth Plagueis, then what the fuck is the point? Like not make it about that part of history. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff they could go with the direction of like a Star Wars Tales of the Sith. So that's maybe why they haven't like done it. But yeah. But mainly, instead of just like theorizing about which way they could go, I hope that they just give more time. Just give more time to these episodes to really flesh them out, because right now it's too short. They're too short. They need more time. I think my idea of making them into like films for Disney Plus, like 80-minute specials around there, like over an hour ish, I think it could really work. But I don't know. I don't know. I know they're not gonna go in that direction. They are already like too deep into making them like different series. But yeah. Anyways, Tales of the Underworld is a show that is okay. I think it's an okay watch. You're not gonna get anything out of it, but it's not gonna waste your time. I feel like if you enjoy these characters, I think you're gonna have a pretty good time with it. It's just that it doesn't do anything special to really further them and explain stuff that's relevant to like anything like special. It's just like, let's make stories about these characters, and they did. It's like, yeah, like it does. I don't think it reveals anything like super big. It's just like, here's a story about Asajj Ventress, or here's a story about Cad Bane. That's it. And if you like these characters, you'll probably like the arcs. So yeah, that's why I'm gonna give Star Wars Tales of the Underworld a C tier. Not good, not bad, in between of the two that we've gotten now. So yeah, it sits in between Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Empire currently. So yeah. What did you guys think about Star Wars Tales of the Underworld? Leave in the comments below. If you want to stay up to date with our content, you can subscribe on YouTube or follow us on Spotify. And if you want to give us your feedback, you can like or dislike the episode on YouTube or rate us on Spotify. And if you want to go on to if you want to follow us on any of our other sites, you can. They are on the description, where you can also find anyone who's featured in the episode, all their links if they have any, including mine, where I have a bunch of review sites where I will be posting reviews on things that I will cover on the podcast, or things that are related to things I'll cover on the podcast. So yeah, I think that's the intro. I think that's the outro. I think it's the full outro. Again, it's been a while since I've done it, so I'm not sure. But yeah, that's about it. See ya.